Hello folks, Typhon Carter here, and I bring to you DPP Ubers Revival Open, and we got a round 4 matchup. This is between Strange Name, going by 21st Century Skizzleman, and Supraz. Strange Name, a Chinese player who's fairly well respected within Uber circles, and somebody who could clearly make a deep run in this tournament, and somebody who's like generally just very good at this tier. Super is a respectable player himself too, but this is gonna be a pretty big test for him. Regardless though, enough said though, let's jump right into this. So I got lead Groudon into Kyogre, and Groudon being slower, that's gonna work in its favor. Going to neutralize Kyogre's water moves here, and Blissey's gonna show up here. Not immediately clear what's going on here. Fori's shown up. Oh, this might be Eclipse, except you flip around Groudon, because typically it's a Fori lead, so that means the back is probably Giratina altered, and then you would have something along the lines of Cress as well, and then the last is like either Latias, Scarf Dialga, yeah, which is actually kind of an interesting idea here, because lead Groudon, as you see here, can mitigate like a lead specs Kyogre matchup on lead, which, like, you know, makes sense stylistically. Groudon's gonna come in here, going to just eat the spatial rend up. Yep, that is a support Groudon, so it'll probably get rocks up, or should be able to at the very least. And no, we got Lum Kyogre, so this means that Blissey will comfortably sit on this. Now, Blissey cannot always run rocks, but, I mean, because of the fact that one, Blissey usually is running Aromatherapy, and then Bronzong just going to come in here, going to eat this Will-O-Wisp up. This tells me that this is probably like EQ Rest Talk Giratina Altered. That's what you typically would see on Eclipse. And then Kyogre is going to come in here, going to get poisoned by T-Spikes, and you really just see T-Spikes putting in overtime here, and it's just gonna get roared out. So Strange Name in a very good spot right now, and gonna get roared out again. Latios is revealed, does not want to stay in for sure, so probably gonna have to pivot to Blissey here. Blissey gotta eat up rocks. Gonna get tricked here, interestingly enough. Yeah, Trick Latios, actually not a set you see often. Typically, Latios is very hard to justify running something like, you know, Choice Scarf, especially when you have Sodu available. And Scizor going to have to switch out here. Kyogre gonna come in right as Rocks comes up. And again, like, Supraz' entire team is just on a permanent timer, so for Strange Name, it's really about weathering the storm, if anything. And yep, that is a mixed Palkia with Aquatail. Aquatail, not a bad option here. And that, it looks like it is, it's probably like Hobbenberry or something, because like any other item just feels like it doesn't make sense. Latios, don't forget, it does not have its you know, oh, good grass not here, so yeah. But Crest probably would have eaten that up anyways, because no Sodu means that, you know, it's not going to hit as hard. And Moonlight is going to heal it back up to full, even though it gets nerfed by the weather. So that's generally why you want Groudon with to pair with Crest. Just go rest here, just going to comfortably sit on this. Okay, maybe not so comfortably, because this Giratina can still be an immense threat here. Yep, that's gonna Sleep Talk into Scizor. Scizor gonna be afraid of a Will-O-Wisp here, and Giratina has a free Sleep Talk, lands the Will-O-Wisp on Latios. Trick Grass Knot, probably Draco, and then it could be Recover. And Dragon Pulse is here, and yeah, you just really see how much Latios misses having Sodu on it. And again, this is why it's like very rare to see Latios kind of drop that, even though the logic makes sense. Sometimes you just want to get the edge on, oh, huge crit there. That's got to at least put the Fori in a bit of a precarious spot here. But Fori will have to, if it's gonna spin, it's gonna have to look for an opportunity at a later date, and nope, that is just trick-free attacks. But again, that's just not gonna do a whole lot here. Moonlights again, and Crest usually does carry Hidden Power Fire, but the problem here is that Hidden Power Fire, because of rain, means that it's gonna do donkey damage. And Garchomp is going to enter into the field here, and Crest will comfortably sit on this for the most part, but Strange Name doesn't really want to risk that for a couple reasons. This is one of those reasons, because you don't want Crest to be completely overwhelmed when Crest has to hold the fort against Bronzong. Oh, there's the Mewtwo. Yeah, Mewtwo, another popular last on Eclipse. So, and yeah, you really see how sometimes just flipping a lead on a known 6 can kind of change a lot of dynamics of a matchup, right? Especially like being able to make sure you start the game with sun instead of, you know, having to deal with rain. And yeah, this is kind of one of those times where having less speed can actually work in your favor, and, you know, this game is a textbook example of one of those said scenarios. And Latios, again, it's just going to try to deal as much damage as possible. Strange Name is actually at risk of getting hit by a crit KO. Oh, right as I say that. Yeah, that roll, Supraz did not get the roll that he is looking for. So, Scizor is going to enter into the game again, and yep, there's the Hidden Power Fire, and yeah, that's going to do nothing. Especially, I think, because Strange Name recognizes, hey, look, Giratina could put in a lot of mileage here, regardless of what happens. Wakes up here. Just go rest again. Giratina will be able to take an unboosted Outrage. And Strange Name finally going into Groudon here. And Groudon, again, like if this support Groudon, which it normally is, it's... okay, yeah, it's not that bulky. But I think Strange Name is probably just scared of like a possible Salic Berry, but obviously that did not happen. Gonna go into Giratina Altered again. It's not gonna do a whole lot. Kyogre will come into the game here, and its hybrid roll pumps will hit like a truck. But Strange Name has set himself up to be in a good enough position where, you know, Mewtwo should be able to finish off Scizor at this range. Will-Wisp again, not able to get the Roar. But Kyogre will be out of commission. And again, if you're Supraz, it's like, yeah, it's going to be tough breaking past this. And yeah, rest again. So a Strange Name should, keyword here is should, take this game 1. But once this Scizor actually takes enough damage, or... Okay, Wisp there, yep, that's going to do it. And this Scizor is just all but dead. And just going to explode here. And Strange Name's going to be up 1-0. So, well played from Strange Name for this game 1. And again, I do love the lead Groudon here on Eclipse instead of lead Fori. And you really see, and again, and I've said it before, like you kind of see how certain matchup dynamics can flip, because in Ubers, it's like generally those first couple turns in a game can either determine how much of an edge you're going to have going into the mid and late games, right? But again, we have a best of 3 to go through. Here are game 2. Deoxys Speed, so we got Deoxys Mirror here. Always the most volatile lead, and oh, Supraz's Deoxys is shown to be faster, and Strange Name is going to react accordingly. Go read the taunt here, and Scizor will be able to get a free U-turn at the very least. And oh, this Bronzong going to take 54%, but Supraz's Deoxys Speed, it might be, no. I highly doubt it's Scarf, but I think Strange Name just has a ton of bulk on his Deoxys Speed, or at least some. And again, gotta get Stealth Rocks up. Payback, okay, yeah, that thing is gonna be dealt with, but this means that it's another free U-turn for Scizor. If Oh, okay. Wildfet is shown. Yeah, this is, I believe, Shrang's version of the Wabray team. So it's Wildfet, Rayquaza, and then you do, and then I believe it is Groudon and Dialga off the top of my head. Jeez. But that Scizor slot can sometimes also be replaced with Mewtwo or Darkrai on Wabray. Strange name saying that he's mad at how Shrang's probably mad at how he's playing this. Oh, sorry, yeah, it was, yeah, I don't think he's playing that bad. But, this Rayquaza is going to deal significant damage to whatever, is gonna come in here. Dragon Claw's here, and yeah, SD Ray, again, not something you see a whole lot, and if you're Strange Name, yeah, you have Scarf Dialga here, and oh geez, okay, yeah, I'm not sure about that stay-in, because again, from, you know, my perspective, it's like, yeah, why else would you bring Dialga in? And then, yep, there's the Giratina Origin, and Mewtwo is another key component of this 6. Yeah, I was wrong about it being Dialga FML. Anyways, Dialga is going to get another KO here. Scizor will comfortably, or not so comfortably, and huge bullet punch crit there, and the Scizor is just going to go down, and Groudon, so I think he's just going to try to set up a sweep here late game, but the Kyogre is like still kind of healthy, which is going to make this really difficult. And I'm not sure how you're winning this, because 1 to 2 layers of spikes is going to be a headache for Strange Name, and then 2, the Scarf Dialga is probably going to be able to take care of the Mewtwo. Gonna go into Wobbuffet here. I think Draco Meteor might kill here. I'm like eyeballing this. Draco's here, and then if you're Supraz, you just swap out of this because you know it's a Life Orb Mewtwo. It's 4 attacks Mew. And then Fire Blast here. Yep, doesn't really matter. Supraz is going to take this game too, and Strange Name recognizes this, going to forfeit. Now, what's interesting here about this game, I think, looking back at this, because Strange Name himself said that Shrang's probably mad at how he's playing this. Look at this. Okay, yeah, like Scizor and the taunt, like, yeah, beautiful. Turn 2 was fine, and then I think it was when Payback was revealed where things may have gotten a little bit awkward, and then okay, and then you were able to get rid of Bronzong with counter. I think the issue here was that what I think Strange Name needed to do here was just kind of scout the Scarf Dialga with SD Ray, because SD Ray actually is fantastic in this matchup. Even though if you, because like again, I don't think he's lacking in opportunities to potentially set up down the line. What you could do here is, like, I don't know, go Sizz and then like go into Dialga. One other thing, yeah, like you kind of have to encore the Bronzong, I get that. I think the other option that Strange Name could have opted for, I think, after U-turn, was bring the Mewtwo in earlier. I think that's another way he could approach this. He could have approached this matchup, because you bring in Mewtwo. Rain hasn't been set yet, right? Like, around, I believe it was like turn 4. Yeah, on turn 4, like after that goes down, like you don't have to, you know, because like it was at like what, 57%. With the Sizz and whatnot, you could instead just look to put pressure with Mewtwo. So that's probably how I would have looked at it, but again, like hindsight is 2020. But it is 1-1, and Supraz did a good job, like, you know, taking it, just like holding on to the advantage that he was able to get. But we have a game 3 to cover. Here are game 3. Fori lead into Kyogre lead. And we're going to see what happens here. Hydro Pumps here, Focus Sashes, and then Explodes. Okay, so this is a relatively new thing in Ubers development, if you want to call it that. So the idea here with Fori running Focus Session and clicking Explosion on Kyogre is that one, historically, if you're running Sun Offense or Sun Stall or whatever with lead Fori, right? Specs Kyogre is probably the worst possible matchup that you could run into. And Sash does a couple things. One, you're just like, okay, look, you get rid of the Kyogre right away. What you get out of that is that you can bring the Groudon in, and then now, you know, your opponent, the Kyogre user, not gonna have rain for the rest of the game. It's gonna be a perma Sun game, or if they have a T-Tar in the back, like Sun or Sand, like that is a field condition that you're okay with as the Fori player. So you're giving up hazards so that you can get the weather advantage, and you kind of see how weather dynamics in Ubers plays out. Ray's gonna come in, Supraz knows this, gonna try to come in, deal with the Groudon, just try to damage this as much as possible. Groudon's probably gonna get rocks up. No, it's actually Dragon Claw, so it's, oh, this might be Double Dance Groudon or something off the top of my head. And then E-Speed's here, sure, not like the worst thing in the world. Extreme Speeds again. Strange Name just gotta take his kill because you do not want to mess around and find out in case of an outrage or whatever. Ho-Oh is okay, so it's a Sun offense, and Tricks here. Ho-Oh's gonna get the Choice Scarf and is at lefties, and then Dialga's gonna get slept. This is, oh, okay, it's lefty, so Strange Name doesn't have a better sleep sack here, and but a nice double there into the Ho-Oh to cover the Bronzong. I'm going to get rid of that right away, and you really see the benefits of Fori being able to explode on Kyogre turn 1, because like now it's like this Ho-Oh extremely threatening. You have these Sun boosted Cigarette Fires, which means that, like, you know, it's gonna hurt no matter what. Even something like Palkia, which would quad resist it, is still gonna take a decent chunk. Not to mention the burn chance being like 50%, right? So like you will either get lots of damage, and half of the time you're probably gonna get like a burn effect to go with it, which in Ubers is huge. And then Dialga, look at that, just taking 71%. That burn means that like it is out of commission. The Darkrai can't really do much to this Ho-Oh, and obviously you gotta swap out, but you have to remember this Ho-Oh actually can finish the game here, finish the job perhaps against this Latios. And Latios going to Draco Meteor again, and you see just how hard Slow Do really boosts its damage output. And oh, both players are going to go into a Calm Mind War now. And if you're a Strange Name, I mean, if you're a Strange Name in this position, I mean, for Supras, this is like probably like your only out here, is that like, look, just get as much damage as possible. Try and maybe get lucky with a crit. Like you're CMing up, and then, I mean, Strange Name is inevitably going to get the first attack regardless of, like, just based on how this is playing out. Now Supers can also, you know, quote, get lucky with a Draco crit, right? So that's like the one out he has. Yeah, look at that, just doing nothing. Thunder, geez, 50% Thunder. So yeah, Supers is like in desperation mode here, because he realizes, look, I can't reliably break this Mewtwo, and the Mewtwo is just going to take care of business at this point. And yeah, Darkrai can't do anything here at all, R-Sphere, so yeah, Strange Name going to put up a very strong game 3 here, and he's going to take the series 2-1. He's going to move on to round 6, which is winner's bracket, and Super is going to be sent down to losers, so he's not out of the tournament yet. Some pretty cool stuff from Strange Name. Again, you see like Fori, and then you see Groudon. Like, this is like a reasonably good disguise of like Sunstall, like, for example, because like of the order they revealed the pokes in, right? You got Fori, you got Groudon, you got Mewtwo, right? You could reasonably, like, your opponent could reasonably think, oh, hey, maybe his last is something like Giratina Alter, Crest, and then, you know, something like Latias or Scarf Dialga, right? But But then, you know, I think it kind of showed with how Supraz maybe approached this, like perhaps he was not expecting the Ho-Oh, and then he tricked with Darkrai on the Ho-Oh because, again, that was not like a idiot move or anything like that. I think that was just because maybe he thought that, you know, maybe this Ho-Oh is like, you know, either Lumberry or maybe it's like a CB Sleep Talk, and then was probably trying to catch, you know, strange name, perhaps clicking Sleep Talk like on the anticipate Dark Void, right? So, you know, that's just like things to like think about. And that being said though, if you guys enjoyed this video, like, comment, subscribe, and consider donating to DPP Revival Ubers' prize pool. Any donations you make will go towards DPP Revival tournaments, future prize pool, or even this one, for example, etc. And I'll see you guys next time.